Okay, so basically, if you want to learn how to be a prophet, you're going to have to do one of two things. First of all, you're going to have to learn, and second of all, you're going to have to be. You're going to have to be everything you can be and learn straight from God. The key to being a prophet is that everything that you learn comes straight from God. So if you're not prepared to obey Him in everything that He tells you, then just quit right now because you don't have what it takes. Basically, what I'm saying is you have to listen and learn. If you're willing to listen, you're willing to be a prophet. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is listen. So listen to me as I tell you from God how to be a prophet, because I'll tell you from God. I won't tell you from myself. Many prophets will go around saying, the word of man, I'll tell you what you have to do to see the future, to be God, to predict what God says. There's no such thing as predicting what God is going to say. You can't predict what God is going to say. You have to know. And so I'm here to teach you. I am 25 years old. I've been doing this for 7 years. And as far as I've lived, you never will see a prophet come up to someone and say, you will live and not die, unless they know for sure that the person they are talking to is going to listen. You'll never see it, because God will only speak to you about people that you know are going to listen. That's the first lesson. Make sure that the person you're speaking to is going to listen to you. Second of all, if you are speaking to someone and that person is in a sin, and you know it, and I mean living an unholy life, then you need to drop what you're saying right there and take them out of it first things first. Because if you keep on talking to someone who has no understanding and doesn't understand the ways of God, they're going to misinterpret you. They're going to take what you say out of context, deny you, treat you terribly, do everything they can to get that voice of God out of their head, because they don't want it. You know who wants it? Is you. And so you need to make sure that the other person wants it also. You know what I'm saying? You can't just bring up what you say to a person and expect them to understand 100% unless they are on the same level with you. And I mean you'd better be sure. Second of all, a lot of prophets will tell you, just wait for an image in your head. Just wait for God to give you something small. No. You wait for God to tell you the right way, and that's by His voice and His voice alone. I don't want you to make up things yourself. The whole game is not to make it up yourself. That's the whole game. Not unless you want to be a false prophet, and trust me, that's not what you want to be. There's so many people against false prophets right now. There is some kind of God out to kill false prophets, and I'm serious. I mean that to you. So take a lesson from me. Never, ever false prophesy. But I'm here to give you the good news. And the good news is that every prophecy comes true. So if it's too late for you, if you've done a false prophecy, just hold on a second. You're still correct, because every prophecy comes true according to God. God does not say anything in vain. He always speaks the true word. If you even said it was God speaking, then it was. But just the key is obedience. Obedience is not doing what you think is best. Obedience is doing what God thinks is best. So you do what God says, and that's the main lesson.